right. එතකොට ඕගලන්ගේ ටියුට් එකේ 30 වෙනි පිටුවේ තියෙන TCP IP architecture එක ගැන තමයි මම දැන් කතා කරන්න හදන්නේ. So right, great. So this is about the OSI layer. So like first of all, the OSI layer is this, right, which we talk about, and you have another nice picture right over here as well, right? Open system interconnection model, which describes the what's happened to the data from your screen until the network port, right? So මොකද data එකට වෙන්නේ කියලා, right? So in brief, we talk that the data will be created at the application layer, which we talked as a topmost layer, right? So then it will be the security is being applied, encrypted and compressed kind of things will be happen through the presentation layer, right? Let me like this, as we discussed. So the data is created at the application layer, then it is applied with this compression, encryption and security in the presentation layer. So then the inside the session layer, nothing has happened to the data. Instead of that, they will create the connection, right? When the very first data arrives here, like onto this layer, they will create the particular connection from the sender side, and once the data is received, the connection will be end from the receiver side, right? So that is why I told you the connection will be created in the sender side and connection will be ends in the receiver's end, right? So until the communication happens, this connection is managed by both the parties, like from the side of the sender and from the side of the receiver, right? So actually the devices are maintaining this particular thing. So then in the transport layer, it is the best thing happens there. Best thing means that the initial thing happens there to the data. So data will be segmented or like decomposed into small pieces, which we call the segments, right? So then that happens in the transport layer. So we call it the segmentation. So once the segmentation happens, then in the network layer, we discuss that particular segment is put inside a component called packet. And this packet is having the packet header, and it has some details, actually 3 details, which is the source IP, which means where this data is actually being generated, and the destination IP. So destination means it's the final destination. දැන් මම මගේ phone එකේ ඉඳලා ඔයගලන්ට Zoom session එකේ එවනකොට my phone IP address will be the source IP. Your particular phone's IPs will be the destination IP, right? So there are many more IP addresses in between my device and your device, specifically when it comes to the routers. මොකද routers ගොඩාක් හරහා ගිහිල්ලා තමයි ඔයාගේ තැනට ඔක එන්නේ. එහෙම තමයි network එක, internet කියන network එක හැදෙන්නේ, right? So the IP address of my phone will be there, and IP address of your phone will be there, right? To which particular place that this is going to reach. And again, the port will be there. Port, in other words, it is there respectively for each and every application. The මම එවන්නේ WhatsApp message එකක් ඔයගලන්ට. So port will be referring to the port number which is regarding the WhatsApp. If I'm sending you a Viber message, port will be regarding the Viber app, right? So that is how the message identified from where it is going to leave and to which place that the message is going to receive and onto which application, right? So those three things will be there in the packet. And then in the lower layer, which is in the data link layer, packet will be put inside a component called frame, right? So frame is having two specific things in their header, so which we call the MAC address. Two MAC addresses are there. So one is the source MAC address, that means the MAC address of the device that this particular message is going to go. And destination MAC means the immediate destination MAC. That means මම message එක එවනකොට මගේ phone එකෙන් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ phone එකට from my phone it's going to go first to the my router, right? So source MAC will be my phone's MAC address and the destination MAC will be my router's MAC address. When the frame reach to the router, which is my router, so my router will take the packet from that particular frame which it receives, and the packet will be put inside a new frame which belongs to my router. So then that frame's header will be modified. Modified means will be written like source MAC is my router's MAC address, and the destination MAC is the next router's destination MAC, right? ඒක අපේ ටෙලිෆෝන් කණුවක තියෙන receive කරන router එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? So likewise, from router to router, whatever the frame is received will be opened and packet will be taken and put inside their own frame and write via the source. And here's the other one who is going to receive you as next. It is your destination MAC. So likewise, router it will comes to your home router, then after from your home router to your particular device, right? So that is what you call the source MAC and the destination MAC, so which is written on the frame. So frame එක ඇතුලේ තමයි packet එක තියෙන්නේ, packet එක ඇතුලේ තමයි segment එක තියෙන්නේ. So once it is put into the frames, then these frames will be converted into the ones and zeros. And those ones and zeros, the bit stream will be leaving your network port, right? එතකොට ඔයගලගේ screen එකේ ඉඳලා ඇත්තටම ඔයගලන්ට පේන්නේ screen එකේ නැත්නම් data එක ඇත්තටම screen එකේ ඉඳලා නෙවෙයි එන්නේ, it is in the processor. So circuit එක ඇතුලේ motherboard circuit එක system unit circuit එක ඇතුලේ සිද්ධ වෙන ක්‍රියාවලිය ওই විදිහට layers 7කට කඩලා පෙන්නනවා. From where it generates, actually then it is in some kind of a place in the memory. From there to the network port. The network port එකෙන් එළියට එන්න අවස්ථාව වෙන්නේ in the very lower layer, which is called the physical layer. So from that physical layer, it will lead to the network media, which can be a guided one, which can be an unguided one, right? Wire එකකට යන්න පුළුවන්, නැත්නම් signal එකක් විදිහට යන්න පුළුවන්. However, it's going to reach the receiver. So in the receiver's end, whatever the bit stream received will be converted into the frames. Then frames will be opened and packet will be taken out, and then packet will be opened, right? So this happens on the respective layers. Like in the physical layer, this thing happens in the reverse manner. Then calling physical layer එකේ උනේ frame එක bit stream එකක් වෙච්ච එක, receiving end එකේදී it goes the vice versa, right? Or the opposite side. So bit stream become frame, right? Then the data link layer. So in data link layer, frames will be opened, packet will be taken out. Then the network layer. In the network layer, packet will be opened and the segment will be taken out. Then the transport layer. In the transport layer, segments will be collected together and the original data will be created, right? And then the session layer, data will not be affected, right? But it will maintain the connection until the data receiving part gets done. So then presentation layer. Presentation layer will do the reverse things. It was applying the security at the sender's end. In here, security will be removed. It was encrypted at the sender's end, and here it will be decrypted. And it was compressed in the sender's end, and this will be decompressed over here. Then in the application layer of the receiver, that means the user can see what has been sent. Right? Right. ඕක තමයි OSI layer එකේ කෙටියෙන් සිද්ධ වෙච්ච දේ. So this OSI layer is a universal layer, like a standard 7 layers. Based on this, there are many different models is there for this particular scenario. So based on that, one particular model that we are talking about is the TCP IP protocol architecture. Right now, TCP IP protocol architecture is a very wide thing to discuss, but in our syllabus, we are not going to talk about it very much, right? But what you have to do is you have to compare how the things are going to happen, right? So it is like, if I write the layers which are in here, so you can see application, presentation, session. There are 3 layers at the top. So those 3 layers are mapped into the application layer in TCP IP protocol architecture. So here you can find application, presentation, and session layers inside this. So the transport layer is here. They use the very same name, which is called the transport. And for the internet, it is the network layer, right? And in here, again, you can find 2 layers, data link layer and the physical layer, right? So this is the OSI model, Open System Interconnection model. This is TCP IP model, right? It has 7 layers. Those 7 layers are mapped into the 4 different layers, which is called application, transport, network layer is called internet, and data link and physical layers are called network interface, right? So this is what you need to know when you are comparing the OSI model and the TCP IP model, right? කොහොමද මේවා match වෙන්නේ කියන එක, right? Okay, people, just confirm me whether it is clear, the matching part. Right. How about others? Okay. Right. People? Okay. Right, okay. And people, it seems that we can meet very soon, but I don't know whether it is going to okay with your parents and all these things. We have to discuss with them as well before we commence the physical classes, even though the government said it is okay to be, right? So we'll see how it's going to happen, right? And yes, yeah, I've got the confirmation from only some particular people. So අනිත් අය තේරෙනවා ඇති කියලා මම හිතනවා. So if you got any problem, you can say or you can question, right? Okay, so after this TCP IP model, today I'm going to go to a new section, particularly the very last section of the tutes. So we have another calculation part ahead, which we haven't started yet, right? So before that, I'm going to talk about this security aspects of the communication and protection of these devices. Right? So in simple words, how we can apply the security, like we did it on the presentation layer. What are the ways that we use to apply the security for the data that we are going to send? So here we are majorly discussing about two concepts, which is called the encryption and the digital signature, right? So encryption is a technique which uses cryptography, which provides confidential of transmitting data. It provides the confidentiality, right, of transmitting data. And then when it comes to the digital signature, it ensures, right? It ensures from whom that you are going to receive, or from which particular person that you have received this message. Right. So when it comes to the encryption part, which gives the confidentiality, right, which I'm messing with, right? So it applies like this. I have given you a diagram on the page number 34. So like it has been introduced in two different ways, which is called the symmetric key encryption, and the next one is called the asymmetric key encryption. So from the words symmetric and asymmetric, symmetric means equal, asymmetric means not equal, right? So from the picture you can understand. Now people remember, encryption means you are changing, that is what we call the cryptography. You are changing, actually you are scrambling the content or the data of your original message, right? ඒක හරියට අපි අපිට හැකියාව තියෙනවා නම් අපි අතින් ලියුමක් ලියලා අපි ඒ අකුරු ටික අපේ අතින් එහෙ මෙහෙ කරනවා. So that is called encryption, right? එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි මොකක් හරි නේද? Let's say we are using a magic wand, right? Harry Potter එකේ වගේ, right? We are using a wand to change the letters, right? So then we send the letter, and the one who's receiving the letter is having another magic wand, so they can decrypt the letter. So that means they can change the letters to see the actual content or the correct content. So in between, if someone received that, or if someone had the ability to access the content, still they can't access the particular data or the needed data because it is being scrambled. So that is what you call encryption. To do this, we use different kinds of algorithms, right? So we are not going to go for the algorithm part in here, but we are just talking about the method. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are just talking about the method. So in the symmetric key encryption, and people metana thawa namak liya ganna private key encryption here. So this is called the private key encryption as well, right? Symmetric key encryption. So it is called the private key encryption, right? So in the very same way, this is called the public key encryption. Right? ඔය වචන දෙකත් අරගන්න, මොකද papers වල ඔය වචන දෙකෙන් තමයි වැඩිපුර refer වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. So in the symmetric key encryption, this is the logic, this is what is happening. We are having a particular key, that is, key means another program which used to encrypt the data. So sender is having the key and the receiver is having a key, and it's a common key, right? So if I am sending a message to you people using the symmetric key encryption, I have an algorithm, or I have a program to encrypt it, to encrypt my message. and using my same program, in other words, using my key, the message can be decrypted as well, right? So what I'm doing is using my key, which we call the secret key, I encrypt my message. So that means my message is created, then it is scrambled by me. Then I have shared my key, my program, my algorithm with you all, and you know how to decrypt it. So once the message received at your end, you use the same key, that means which is given by me, to decrypt the message and read what it is, right? So it's the same key, same program. So I use that particular key to encrypt it. You use that particular key to decrypt it, right? තේරුණාද ළමයි? Right, great. Okay. So then the next one, which is called the asymmetric key encryption. Now in here, Nirmana, okay, Nirmana එක මේ වගේ key එකක් තියෙනවා. key එක කියලා කියන්නේ program එකක් කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. right? program එකක්. ඔයා ඒ program එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා ඔයා ලියලා තියෙන data එක encrypt කරන්න. right? බොහොම සරලව හිතුවොත් password එකක් කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. password එකකට වඩා දෙයක් මේක සිද්ධ වෙනවා. right? ඔයා ඒ program එක පාවිච්චි කරාම ඔයාගේ data එක change වෙනවා. So ඔයා ඒ program එක ඒ algorithm එක ඔයා තමයි හදාගන්නේ. key එක හදාගන්නේ encryption පාවිච්චි කරන කෙනා. right? ඒ key එක generate කරගන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම තියෙනවා. right? So you have provide the same key to the others as well. ඒතර ඔයා අනිත් අයට message එකක් යවනකොට ඔයා කියනවා මම message එක encrypt කරලා එවන්නේ වෙන කෙනෙකුට කියවන්න බෑ. ඔයා class එකේ ඉන්න අනිත් අයට එවනවා. එවන්න කලින් ඔයාගේ key එක අනිත් අයට communicate කරලා තියෙනවා. ඔයගලන්ට මම message එක එවුවොත් encrypt කරලා මේ මම එවපු key එක පාවිච්චි කරලා decrypt කරගන්න. So they can decrypt and see the original message. එතකොට key එක නැති කෙනාට original message එක බලන්න බෑ receive වුණා. මොකද එයා දන්නේ නැති නිසා. right? තේරුණාද නිර්මාණ?
ඔව් සර්.
right. Okay, now next one is about the asymmetric key encryption. So there, now if I am the person who is sending you the message, the encrypted message, I've got two keys with me, which is my public key and which is the private key, right? So private key or the secret key is only known by me, right? And public key I can share with everyone else, right? So what I am doing is I am giving my public key to you all and tell if you need to send me a message, use my public key to encrypt your message, right? So then if you send the message using my public key, and when it's received at my end, I can use my private key to decrypt the message that you have sent, right? ඒක හරියටම තේරුම් ගන්න එක පැත්තකට විතරයි ඕක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මම මගේ public key එක ඕගලන්ට දීලා තියෙනවා. මම ගාව private key එකක් තියෙනවා. මගේ public key එකෙන් encrypt කරපු message එකක් මගේ private key එකෙන් විතරයි decrypt කරන්න පුළුවන්. මගේ public key එකෙන් decrypt කරන්න බෑ asymmetric key encryption වලදී. So public key used to encrypt, private key used to decrypt. So private key is known only to me. Public key is known to everyone. Everyone means the one who I need to share with. So if you need to send me a message, use my public key, encrypt it, send it to me. I'll use my private key to decrypt and read it. තේරුණාද? ළමයි right. ළමයි මාව clearly ඔය පැත්තට communicate වෙනවා නේද? කැඩි කැඩි නෙවෙයි නේද ඇහෙන්නේ? Jinani, process longer means I don't think the process will be longer, but it will be much secure. නේද? දැන් කලින් public key එක තියෙනකොට මට ආවේ නැති වුණත් මගේ public key එක තියෙන වෙන කෙනෙකුට පුළුවන් නේ message එක open කරගන්න. Right? Then මම ඔයගලන්ගේ මගේ like in the first method, in the previous method, symmetric method, I have the secret key. So you people are having the same secret key. Right? So if I send a message, you can decrypt it using the same secret key. So if you send the message, I can decrypt it using the same secret key. But here, it is much secure. You people can only send me the message. I can decrypt what you have sent. Now, if I need to send the message to you people, I need to know your public keys. නේද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ එක එක්කෙනාට වෙන වෙනම public keys තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මට keys දෙකක් තියෙනවා වගේම මේ asymmetric key encryption එකේදී you people have pair of keys as well. ඔයගලන්ට තියෙනවා public and private key එකක්. ඒතකොට ඔයාට message එකක් ගෙන්න ගන්න ඕනේ නම් මගෙන් you have to give your public key to me. So then I will write them, I will make the message, and using your public key, I will encrypt it and send it to you. Then using your private key, you can open it and decrypt it and see. Right? So it is a much secure manner. Dilsara, those are two different. Dilsara is asking what's the difference between secret and the public key. It is two different algorithms. ඔයා තනිකරම ඕක යතුරු ගැනම හිතන්නකෝ දිල්සර. Right? එතකොට මේ අපි මේ කතා කරන lock එක හරි අමුතු lock එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ public key එකයි private key එකයි මං ගාව keys දෙකක් තියෙනවා හිතන්නකෝ මගේ public key එකෙන් මං copies හදලා ඕගලන්ට දෙනවා. ඕගලන්ට කියනවා ඕගොල්ලෝ එවන message එක මං දීලා තියෙන public key එකෙන් lock කරලා එවන්න. ඒතර ඕගොල්ලෝ lock කරලා එවුවම මට තමයි unlock කරගන්න පුළුවන්. මගේ key එකෙන් තමයි unlock කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So public එකයි private එකයි those are two different things. Public and secret, two different keys. Right? ඒකේ algorithm එක මොන වගේද කියන එක අපි මෙතන discuss කරන්නේ නැහැ දිවසර. Right? It's going to be a mathematical thing. Right? එක එක විදි පාවිච්චි කරන ඕගොල්ලෝ Sherlock Holmes කියවලා තියෙනවා නම් නේද? Sherlock Holmes වල තියෙන ඔය අර Sherlock Holmes ගේ ලස්සන කතාවක් තියෙනවා මේ නටන මිනිස්සුන්ගේ කතාව කියලා නේද? මට සිංහලෙන් මේ තිබ්බ නම මාතෘකාව හරියට මතක නැහැ. Right? ඒකේ තියෙන encrypted language එකක්. කියන්නේ ඒ character එකක් අකුරක් represent කරනවා. So likewise. Right? Dilsara, clear the public and secret key එක? Right. Okay, so that is one way of giving the security to a particular message, and you can ensure the security. You can ensure the security using digital signature as well, right? Or like the signing, right? So as it says, usually a validity document contains. See, I think there is some problem with the. Yeah, not a validity document, it's a valid document. Usually, a valid document contains a signature under it, which makes the receiver to trust the content in it. Similar to usual documents, digital documents should also have a signature. Thus, the digital signature helps to authenticate the source of message. Right? So, the very same way, right? Digital signature allow us to verify the author, date, and time of signature. Authenticates the message content, right? So ඒක අපි සාමාන්‍ය ලියුමක් sign කරනවා හා සමානයි. So in Adobe Reader, if you open a PDF, you are given the facility to sign the document, right? So if you sign it and send, so it has a validity that you have done that, and with the signature there are specific details that they are recording, who has done the recording, at which time, and those details will be there, right? So it will give you extra assurance that you are receiving this particular message from this particular person, right? But much secure way is the encryption. Then digital signature එක මගදී කෙනෙක්ට hack කරලා change කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? So much secure way is the encryption. Okay, so people, did you got about the digital signature and the encryption? Is it clear? Do you got any additional questions? Yes, people, is it clear? Right, great. Okay. Right, so moving forward, and here we are going to talk about the threats. So we are given with like very simple amount of threats over here. So one is called the malware. Malware means actually any software which harm the devices, or which is being created with the malicious purpose. We call it a malware. So all these viruses, worms, Trojan horse, everything, every program is under the malware category, right? So the very first one we are going to talk is the virus. So virus, in its word, it's going to be a problem, right? So this virus is made as a program from a programmer which has a very like very massive knowledge about programming, right? So when the program captain කෙනෙක් තමයි virus එකක් create කරන්නේ, right? And it is created to harm the files or the devices that we are going to use. And why it is called a virus? Once it is being launched, it can replicate itself and spread all over the system. So when it comes to a network, it's going to be a very dangerous one, very risky thing if a network affected with a virus, because if just one device affected with a virus, the entire network is going to affected at the next second, right? Because once it is being launched, we can't stop. That means once it is being executed, we can't stop spreading it. Antivirus software will only be there to recognize or to alert us there is a program which is very suspicious, so don't execute it, right? ඒක තමයි antivirus software එකට පුළුවන් වෙන දේ. කියන්නේ අපි execute කරන්න කලින් අපිට alert කරන්න. This is seems to be a virus, so don't execute it. දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි when we are downloading some setup files from the internet, our antivirus software directly delete those things in some places, and sometimes it blocks and say this is not an trustworthy source that you have found. Are you really sure to execute this particular thing or not? Right? So the difference, or not the actually the difference between worm and the viruses, somehow viruses should get executed. Virus කියන කෙනාව අපි double click කරලා හරි open කරලා හරි, the user should interact with it to open the gate to the system or to the computer system. That means you are going to execute it. Double click කරලා හරි right click කරලා run කරලා හරි මොකක් හෝ first time run වෙන එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් virus එක ඔහේ pen එකේ තිබ්බට effect වෙන්නේ නැහැ. But there is a kind who can affect like that. They are called worms, right? So worm, if you got a worm through an email or from a CD or somewhere else, it will just need to be like they are in the system, right? Again, pen drive එක connect කරොත් ඇති worm එකක් තියාගෙන. CD එක දාලා read කරන්න, CD එක read කරගන්න, worm එක read කරන්න නෙවෙයි, CD එක read කරගන්න access දුන්නොත් ඇති worm එකට. So it will flows into your system, right? That means we call this ability is the self replication, right? So like without the interference of the user, if it gives the chance to get enter into the system, it will come in and will get jeopardize your system or the network, right? So that is what is done by the computer worm. So both worm and virus both are having the same abilities, but the only difference is virus is there to be executed to get effect into a computer system, and worm just flows, right? When it comes to the Trojan, the story is different. Why this particular malicious program is given the name Trojan? It is because of this what we call the story regarding the Trojan horse, right? So the Trojan horse means, like, the story comes on this manner when the Romans need to attack to the city called Troy, which was very highly guarded and which has the norm that Troy city can never be invaded. The Roman army has made this strategy to attack the Troy city by just gifting a very big wooden horse, which is aliases has the Trojan horse, as a gift to the Troys, right? Troy city එකට gift කරා අපිට සටන් කරන්න ඕනේ. Let's stay at peace. So here's a gift from us. It's a giant wooden horse which was named as Trojan horse. ඔය සිද්ධිය නිසාම Trojan horse කියලා නම වැටෙනවා. So like Troy people were like very very sensitive about the peace, and they were thinking the Roman army is like talking like utter truth, right? So they accept it, and they like had this peace program, right, with the Romans. But at the night, what was happening, the entire Roman army has hidden inside that Trojan horse when they are gifting it to the Troy. So they attack them at the night, right? Ekala Troy city ekalla. So there is many movies regarding Troy, right? So you can see how it happens, right? So why this is given the name Trojan? Because this particular thing is attacking our computer system in the very same way, right? So because there are many different programs that you can download from the internet, which you can see and which you can look, and where you have this feeling this is going to be something genuine. And even when you are installing, you can see the genuine software is being installed, right? Later you will be able to use that software as well. But the problem is there are some programs where they are providing you the program or whatever the component you want, and with that a malicious software like a virus or a worm is hidden with that particular component or with that particular program. So when you are executing the original program, virus or the worm or whatever the malicious software is being installed or is being executed at the same time. So unknowingly, you are given the authority to some third party to access to your system, which is very dangerous thing when it comes to a computer network, because it can invade the entire computer network just with seconds when you are given the authority, right? අපි හිතන්නේ නැහැ ඒක වැරදි දෙයක් අපි කරන්න කියන්නේ අපි අපිට පාඩුවක් කරගන්න කියලා. We just install a program or we just using a program, but unknowingly they are into our systems, right? So these are the threats that we are given to discuss in this lesson. So previously in the all syllabus there were many, but in here they just reduce it to this particular list, right? And as well as phishing is there, so which is in the next page, so which we have to discuss, right? So people confirm, is it clear so far about the viruses, worms and the Trojans? Right, great. Okay, so before I moved into the well, I'll go for the phishing part as well. චුට්ටක් ඉන්න බලන්න phishing එකට ගියායින් පස්සේ අපිට තව කොච්චරද තියෙන්නේ. Yeah, Dilsara, there is something called adware. Adware කියලා කියන්නේ අපිට නිතරම හම්බෙන දෙයක්. ඔය websites වලට ගියාම අපි දන්නේ නැතුව එක එක අපිට එන ads click කරාම it get installed into our computer. ඊට පස්සේ අපි internet පාවිච්චි නොකරත් internet connection එක active නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ ads එවනවා අපේ computer එකට. So there will be lot of pop-ups. වැඩක් කරගන්න බෑ, notifications එනවා දිගට. Right? Which we call an adware. Right? It is literally it is an headache. Right? Okay. So this is the one, the last one which I need to discuss with you people is the phishing. Now, phishing is a different kind of technique that these hackers and the phishers are using. The person who is doing the phishing is called the phisher. So what they are doing is, this is a very common thing in nowadays, right? As well as in previous days as well. The phisher will send a link through a SMS or maybe through an email or maybe through an instance message in a service like WhatsApp and Viber, or like there are many other, by saying that this particular website that you are using, where you use your sensitive data like credit card numbers and bank details and all these things, are being updated, and they are sending this message to us to click and visit there and see what other things are being updated, right? ඒ වගේ message එකක් ඔයාට එවනවා නේද? like it's not a very suspicious one nowadays නේද? දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට එහෙම ඒවා අපිට හම්බෙනවා. එතකොට if we don't know who the sender is, it's better we be careful to open our particular application. Specifically when it comes to the web application, this is very common. So we should be very careful to open such a link, and if you click on that, like just by clicking you won't be given any details, right? There are ways of having that as well, or phones will talk, but when it comes to the phishing concept, so when you click on that link, the phisher will present you an application which is very familiar to you, right? හැමදාම පාවිච්චි කරන උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ඔයාගේ ඔයාට message එකක් එනවා, your Google your Gmail is being updated recently, so just visit there and see what are the things which is updated, like how the update is, right? So just click it and log as it says. So once we click it, we are given a page which is requesting the username and the password, which is the regular thing. අපි අපේ Gmail account එකට යනවා නම් we should give our username and password unless we are already been logged. So we are not having any suspicious feeling when it is asking us to enter the username and the password. We blindly give it. ඒක තමයි අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කරලා පුරුදු දෙය නේද? අපිට same interface එක එනවා නම් so we give it. So then you will be redirected to the original site from the phisher's site. The phisher කරන්නේ ඒ වගේ දෙයක් ඔයාට පෙන්නලා පිටිපස්සේ ඉඳගෙන ඔයාගේ username and password collect කරගන්න එක. This can be happen to any sensitive kind of data, right? Like credit cards, like bank details, right? Specifically when it comes to the credit card details and the passwords, this can happen. So එතකොට ඔයාට feel වෙන්නේ දැන් phisher කරන්නේ username password අරගත්තයින් පස්සේ එක්ක ඔයාව ආයෙසරයක් original login එක ගාවට redirect කරනවා. අර අපිට experience තියෙනවනේ username password දුන්නාම එක සැරේ log වෙන්නේ නැති. සමහරලාට errors එනවා, internet connection ප්‍රශ්න කියනවා, ආයි දෙන්න වෙනවා. We have that like original site have that problem sometimes, right? Maybe it is due to your internet connection, maybe it is due to their server connection, right? So we are having that feeling. So we are providing the username and password again without thinking about it twice. නේද? මොකක් හරි අවුලක් වෙලා වෙන්නේ නැති කියලා ආයෙසරයක් දෙනවා. දුන්නාන් පස්සේ you can log in. But the problem is through the previous web page or the one which is given you as a actual one, which was actually a fake, the phisher has collected your username and the password. So later he can invade your email account and do the necessary changes, or maybe it will get hacked or whatever the thing they can do since they are having the username and the password, right? So this is what we call phishing. So due to this reason, I'll show you many different e-banking applications are specifically saying on their login page, right? Yeah, wait. Yeah, not over here actually. Wait, I'll show you one. Yeah, here. So now this is the ළමයිනේ තප්පරයක් දෙන්න is calling call එකක්. Right. So in here you can see මේ මෙතන තියෙන වැදගත් ආරක්ෂක පණිවිඩයක් ඔබගේ මුරපද හෝ ඕනෑම පරිශීලක විස්තරයක් කරන ලෙස ඉල්ලා සිටින ක්ලික් කළ හැකි ලින්ක් සම්පත් බැංකුව ඔබට එවන්නේ නැත. Right. So this is given specifically due to phishing. Right. So ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ original site එකට ඇවිල්ලා just provide your user ID and the password, then log it through this or the web or the mobile application that they are providing. Do not click the links and come over here, because Fisher can create, even we can create something like this, right? අපිට මේ pictures ටික තියෙනවා නම් HTML page එකක් නිකන් ලියලා හදන්න තියෙනවා. You are going to learn that, right? ඉතින් අපිටත් කරන්න පුළුවන් එකේ, so Fisher can do it very easily, right? So අපිට මෙහෙමයක් ආවම I don't suspect this page. මං හොයා බලන්නේ මේ උඩ තියෙන message එක original site එකෙන් ආපු එකක්ද කියලා. It's normal නේද? අපිට මේක හම්බුනම අපි දෙන්න බලනවා මොනවාද අපේ details කියලා. Right? But you should be careful to not to click the things that you are receiving through the emails or the instance messages to link with some other sites. Okay. So this is what you call phishing. Right. So then it says what are the precautions, or what are the protections that we can have due to this malicious software and all these threats. So we can have firewalls, which we can have in two different ways. In two different ways, which is as a hardware one or as a software one. So if you search for the firewall in the Windows, you can see the Windows Defender, the Windows firewall. This is the firewall. So it has some security settings where it checks whether it is an authorized one or unauthorized one, which is going to access your system. So this is not antivirus software. Antivirus software can කරන දේ මෙයා කරන්නේ නැහැ. But firewall will block the unauthorized visitors into your computer or to your network. Right? And again, you can use antivirus softwares to detect the viruses or the malicious softwares that is trying to harm your computer. And people like, I think you know, like having an antivirus software after the infection of the virus is no point, right? Antivirus software should be there and should be up to date. Otherwise, there will be a problem as well. And most above everything, proper education is the one, because it is the one which creates the attitude in a person to not to do any harmful thing to the others, even in the name of computer system. It's the education. From the education we are learning, we should not harm to the other people, right? In any way, right? So those are the ways that we can choose, that we can use these things to protect our network and all these things from the malicious kind of softwares. Okay, so through this particular one, you have learned another device called firewall. So I told you it can be a software one or it can be a hardware one. So always remember, your firewall is like it's like your dad, right? So ගේට්ටුවෙන් එළියට ආවත් ගේට්ටුවෙන් ඇතුළට ආවත් තාත්තගෙන් අවසර තියෙනවා නම් විතරයි ගේ ඇතුළට එන්න පුළුවන්, right? හොඳම උදාහරණය ඒක තමයි මතක තියාගන්න, right? So firewall එක කියන්නේ තාත්තා වගේ තමයි, right? So when it comes to a network, right, so this can be considered as a small network, right, which has 3 PCs. And if you need to have the internet connection, you know, this should be connected to a router, and router will be connected to the internet, right? So this particular network does not have any firewall. So whatever the things which are going to come from the internet through the router, it's going to visit all the computers or all the devices in the network. So you have to remember the place where you are going to place the firewall, right? So the best place that we can have the firewall is right over here. Better you write the name inside of this box, right? box so router can receive anything. ඔගලන්ගේ ගෙදර වුණත් router එකට receive කරන්න පුළුවන් firewall එකක් තියෙනවා නම් router එක firewall එකට connect කරලා firewall එකට තමයි ඕගොල්ලෝ connect වෙන්නේ. Right? So router can receive anything, but firewall only permits to the authorized things to be get into the network. Right? So ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. Firewall එකක් connect වෙන්නේ is in between the router and the switch. Right? So this is going to be your next device on your device list. Right? Then Jinani දුවට මේක ටිකක් අලුත් වෙනවා අපි note එක කරගෙන එනකොට පොඩි short note එකක් actually it's a table that we have maintained. So yeah, it is right over here. So to the devices, right? So we have written down many different devices over here. So here comes another, which is called the firewall. Right. So the purpose of it is what? Is providing the security to the network. Right, so that is called the firewall and the purpose of that. Hurry, clear the Olamai. Right, great. Okay, so Jinani දුව තව ෆයිල් එකක් තියෙනවා අපි questions වගේක් කර දුව ඉස්සරහට ගියේ මම ඒකත් දුවට එවන්නම්. ටක් ඒක බලන්න network diagram in වලට අදාළව question එකක්. Right, down කරගන්න මම දුවට එවුවා මේ chat එකේ. Right, people, so we can go for the questions again. Right, so I think we have came up to where? Yeah, people, hold on, I need to see how far we have came. Can anyone confirm? Fourth one is done, fifth one is done, sixth is done, 7 is done. Yeah, Lalindi. Great. It is until Lalindi, did we do the 8th one? අටවෙනි එකක් කරාද? Great. So now you can try 9 and as well as not 10th. Hold on. You can have the 9th. Yes, it's a simple one. And you can do the 10th as well. You can have the 11th as well. Yeah, you can do until 11th. So you can do the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Hari, Jinaniduwa try එකක් දෙන්න, but don't worry. To previous knowledge only make a cover කරගන්න. Right? So just give it a try. We'll see. Right, people, you know the drill. Do it and send me the WhatsApp message. Right? So you can start. දැන් මෙතන යනකොට මතක තියාගන්න in the 9th question I'm asking to connect your computer to the google.com, right? And I told you when you are connecting with the web server, the DNS server ගැන අමුතුවෙන් කියන්නේ, you should have that in your diagram, right? Remember those points, right? Right. I'm going to draw the ninth one. මොකද කට්ටියට අමතක වෙලා ඇති කියලා මට හිතෙනවා පහුගිය සතියේ දෙකේ මේක කතා නොවෙච්ච නිසා. Right. So just see if you have drawn it already. Okay, the කියලා බලන්න. So I'm going to draw the ninth one. So 9.1 is a simple question, but it has work to do. It says draw a network diagram to show how a small home network with 2 personal computers, a printer and a scanner is connected to www.google.com in America. Right. So like you don't need to think about or like worry about the home network, even though it is placed in the home or whatever the place, it's going to be a local area network. So simply question number 9 is going to be like this. So you must use a hub or a switch as the central device, and you have to have these 2 computers. So we can say like PC1 and PC2. You can use a circle or a square, and you can have a printer. Again, you can have any shape you want, and you can have a scanner. That's how they said, right? So this need to be connected with the google.com. So google.com will be somewhere here. It's going to be a web server, right? And its name is www.google.com. So this is somewhere else, we are somewhere else. So we need internet to connect with the google.com. So switch must have a router connecting to it to connect with the internet. And from the other side, from the web server side, it's going to be the very same way, right? So like web server is nothing else. It's going to be another computer, right? So this computer connects to a switch or a hub. Then that switch is connecting to a router, and it will connect it to the internet. But there is a problem when they are talking about a web server. We are just typing the domain name, and computer can't understand the domain name. www.google.com කියන වචනය අඳුන ගන්න බෑ. So there should be a one to translate that domain name into the IP address, because machines know IP address when it comes to the networking. So to do that, DNS server should be there. So it is directly connected with the internet, because DNS is managed by the internet service providers, which we consider they are inside the internet cloud. So this is going to be your network diagram for the 9th question, right? So even though it is a 2-line question, you have some things to think in that, right? Hari diagram එක complete නැති අය complete කරගන්න. So try the 10th one, right? 10 වෙනි ප්‍රශ්නේ කරනකොට මම මේක පෙන්නන්නම්. 10 වෙනි ප්‍රශ්නේ කරනකොට there is something called VPN, virtual private network. Now VPN is nothing else, it is something like internet, right? එතකොට VPN කියන එක internet කියලා හිතලා වැඩ කරගෙන යන්නකො. So you will be able to finish up the net diagram, right? So here's the diagram for the 9th question. Yeah, DNS, Dilsara, DNS means domain name system. So DNS helps you to නේද අපේ short note එකට ගිහිලා බලන්න Dilsara. DNS එකේ purpose එක ලියලා තියෙනවා. DNS does converting the domain name or like mapping the domain name to its IP address. DNS එක තමයි www.google.com කියලා ලියලා තියෙන එකේ IP address එක මොකක්ද කියන එක ඔයාගේ machine එකට කියන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ඔයාගේ machine එකට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ google.com එක connect වෙන්න. මොකද machine to machine they know about the IP addresses, not the names. Names are there for us to help. Right? So DNS එක නැති වුණොත් conversion part එක නැත්නම් mapping part එක කරගන්න බැරි වෙනවා මේක. Right? So කිව්වත් නැතත් if it is talking about connecting with a web server, you must connect a DNS server. Got it, Dil sir? Right. Lalindya, I received the 11th one. Let me quickly check what is 11th. Ah, yes, yes. Yeah, that is correct, Dua. That is correct. Great. Try the 10th. Right. 10 වෙනි එක නේද පොඩ්ඩක් හිත කොහොම හරි අඳින්න පුළුවන් විදිහට අඳින්න try කරන්න right ඒතර මම උදව් කරන්න right Lalindi Dua I received yours let me see ඔව් පොඩි වැරදි ටිකක් තියෙනවා හරි මං 10 ඇඳගෙන යන්නම් තව ටිකකින් එතකොට බලන්න දුව කොතනද වැරදිලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා right right good try හරි මම තව විනාඩි 5කින් 10th question එක අඳින්න ගන්නවා Right. I'll do the 10th one. Okay, let's see what's the 10th one is saying about. So it is about a VPN. So it is nothing, just a cloud. So VPN එක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක මම චුට්ටක් පැහැදිලි කරන්නම්, which is not in your syllabus, but it's better you know, right? VPN is a dedicated network, right? Uh, which we have to pay and take, right? So it is working as a private network. It's VPN stands for virtual private network. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ VPNs පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවනේ. ඒ VPN එක මීටර ටිකක් වෙනස්. ඒකත් private network එකක් තමයි. So you are connecting to a like you are being a part of a VPN. ලොකු network එකක කෑල්ලක් වෙන්නේ app එකක් අපි දාගෙන. but අපි practical world එකේ දෙයක් ගැන practical world එක කියන්නේ මේ networking පැත්තට more බර කරලා බැලුවොත් VPN is going to be something like a separated road which only allows our own vehicles to ride. Right? අපිටම තියෙන වෙනම පාරක් අපේ වාහන වලට විතරක් යන්න. Right? So it will eventually speed up the communication, speed up the reduce the network traffics. So likewise, කියන්නේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට්ම තමයි අපිට දීලා තිනවා වෙනම layer එකක්, වෙනම path එකක් අපේ වැඩ ටික කරගන්න. Right? So that's what the 10th one says. A company has their own virtual private network, VPN, which is similar to the internet, to maintain the data communication between their branches. They do their operations in 4 branches and use their own website, which is hosted inside the intranet to do the data communication. Oh, මෙතන පොඩ්ඩක් අලුත් terms කීපයක් හම්බ වෙනවා. intranet එක කියලා කියන්නේ ISRAC VPN එක ඇතුලේ කියන එක. Right? අපි සිංහලෙන් ඔකට කියනවා අන්තර්ජාලය කියලා. Intranet. So it is within the same VPN. Each and every department will upload their weekend reports to the website, and management in the head office are able to access them and create customized report out of them. Employees are logged into the website using the browser and providing the domain name abc.net. You are required to create these networks in the branches and the head office. Assume all devices and servers which need to host the abc.net are in head office. ඔය වාක්‍ය හරි වැදගත්. Right? So that is the line which clarifies where's the location of the web server and where's the location of the DNS server. Right? දැන් මේ අපි කතා කරන්නේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ගැන නෙවෙයි. we are කතා කරන්නේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් වගේ එකක් ගැන, හැබැයි අපිට වෙන් වෙච්ච දෙයක්. Right? So it is talking about 4 branches. Yeah, 4 branches and the website. And they haven't specified the number of computers in this neither. Yeah, they haven't. So you can have the 4 branches like this. Since you don't know how many PCs are there, you can just say these are the PCs. Right? මම මෙයාව මෙතනින් අදින්නම්. මොකද මම මේ පින්තූරෙම copy කරලා branches හතරට අරගන්න ඕන නිසා. So we don't know how many branches, how many PCs are there in a branch. So we just have some PCs. අපිට ඒක specify කරන්න කියලා නැති නිසා අපි කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So I'm going to copy the branch and I'm going to paste for the to represent other branches as well. I'm going to paste right over here. Right down here. Right, පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න ළමයි web. Yes, whiteboard එක respond කරන්න තු යනවා. And here as well. Yeah, පොඩ්ඩක් space එක පොඩි කරනවා. So these are the 4 branches, and I'm going to draw the head office right over here. So this is the head office switch. I'll show you how the branches are going to be named with the help of the dotted lines, right? So they are saying in the end of the question, it says you are assume all the devices and servers which are need to host the abc.net are inside the head office. So that means specifically the web server and the DNS server as well, right? මොකද දැන් මේකේ කියලා තියෙන්නේ මේකට අවශ්‍ය ටික head office එකේ තියෙනවා කියලා. දැන් අපි DNS server එක internet එකේ place කරන්නේ because we don't know where the ISP is, internet service provider කොහේ ඉන්නවද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැති නිසා. But into this scenario, this says head office has all the things. So that means DNS is also going to connect right over here. Right? So then there will be this VPN to connect all these things. දැන් මම කියලා තියෙනවා VPN එක කියලා කියන්නේ internet වගේ තැනක් කියලා. So what you are going to do is you are going to use a router and connects to the VPN. That's all. Use a router, connects with the VPN. And each and every branch and the head office is going to connect with the VPN through the router. So this is it. You have branches, you have head office. Now how we are going to name the branches and all these things? Yeah, that's what I was telling. Then VPN එක කියලා කියන්නේ ඔතනදී ඔයාට දීලා තියෙන පාර. Right? Then දිල්සර අහන්නේ DNS එකයි VPN එකට connect නැත්තේ කියලා. VPN දැන් අපි කලින් කතා කරපු scenario එක මේ scenario එක ගත්තොත්, right? Wait, I'll show you the previous diagram and tell. Now if you consider the answer of the 9th, inside the internet there are several different internet service providers like Dialog, Mobitel and all these things. They are institutions, right? They are the companies who is providing us the internet facility. So they own the DNS server. That is why DNS is connected to the internet right over here. But when it comes to the 10th question, this is just one particular business or one particular organization. ඒකේ කියලා තියෙන VPN එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මේගොල්ලන්ට connect වෙන්න මේගොල්ලෝ තැන් තැන් වල ඉන්න නිසා, but the resources which need to give the web service are inside the head office. ඒකයි අපි web server එකයි DNS එකයි head office එකේ connect කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මොකද මේ VPN මෙතන මේ VPN කියලා ඇදලා තියෙන එක ඇත්තටම තියෙන්නේ wire ගොඩක් විතරයි. There is no any institutions. But in the internet it's not like that. Wires ගොඩක් විතරක් නෙවෙයි. ඒක internet service providers, companies තියෙනවා internet ඇතුලේ. They are connected. Right? It's something complex. So we can't find exactly DNS එක කොතනද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒක නිසායි අපි ඒක internet එකට connect කරගන්නේ. ඒක ඇතුලේ companies ගොඩක් තියෙන නිසා. But when it comes to the 10th question, we can say where the DNS exactly stays. Right? So for that reason, we are connecting the DNS to the switch of the head office. So we can cover this with dotted line and say branch 1. And we can cover this on this manner and say branch 2. Right? So likewise, for this particular thing, branch 3, for this branch 4, and for this we can say the head office. Hari මේ කරපු දේ clearද? කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් respond කරන්න. Lalindi? Right, okay. Great. That's what I'm going to ask. Right. Anitaya? Right. Okay. Hari. Complete karagannako diagram එක. So I'm going to draw the 11th one. Lalindi, it's better because since they are saying there are 4 branches and a head office, ඒවා එකිනෙකට වෙනස්නේ පුතේ. ඒක නිසා අපි indicate කරන එක හොඳයි. Right, because they haven't said any number of PCs or devices inside that. So it's better we name it. Right. Hari. Lamai, is there anyone still completing this thing? Otherwise, I can shift to the 11th question. Right, so I'm moving to the 11th then. So 11th question is about, this is about the firewall. A company hires you to establish a firewall to enable security for their network. This network has 60 computers and 2 scanners for the moment, and each device can communicate with each other, and also the network is provided with the internet. Draw a network diagram to show how this network can have this security. Right, so it's a very simple one, right? So what you are going to do is just draw the LAN regarding this and just show how the firewall is get connected. Right? So they are saying 60 computers, 2 scanners is there. So it doesn't matter how many devices are going to be there. So it's going to show in the very same way. Right, so you can use a switch or a hub. It's better you use a switch because it is reducing the network traffic. So to indicate 60 computers, you can use PC1 and PC60 and dotted lines in between, right? Then they said 2 scanners. So you have to say scanner 1 and scanner 2. So they are saying it is connected with the internet, but we have to provide the security. So that means we should use a firewall in between router and the switch. So router can, by the other end, connects with the internet. Right? Simple as this. So why I'm giving that question to you is to clear out how the firewall is going to take place when we are setting up a network. හරි confirm කරන්න තේරුණාද කියලා? Right, how about the others? Dilsara, have I told anything called subnet mask and anything in here? Dilsara, may ඔයා පුතේ ගණන් තියෙන පැත්ත ගැන බලලා නැත්තේ. මේක ගණන් තියෙන තැනින් නෙවෙයි මම රිෆර් කරන්නේ. ගණන් ටික හදන එක අපි next එකේ කතා කරන්න ගන්නවා, පටන් ගන්නවා. Still we are concentrate on the diagram only. දැන් ගණන් ටික හදනකොට ඔයගලන්ට මේ diagram එක ආයි ඇඳෙනවා. So which will be a practice for you. Right? Okay, මේක copy කරගන්න. So I can wind up the session after that and මේක අහගන්න පොඩි පණිවිඩයක් තියෙනවා. So now we are at the very end of the session, end of the lesson. තව අපිට පිටු දෙකයි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. එක survey එකක්, most important survey එක ගැන කතා කරන්න තියෙනවා, proxy survey එක කියලා. So once we done with the proxy server, which we are going to done by next week in the within a very short time, right? පැය භාගයකින් විතර වගේ එක කතා කරලා ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then I'm going to go for the calculations. Right? දැන් ඔයගලන්ගේ network tube එකේ අග තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නවල මුලින්ම ඇත්තේ මේ නිකං diagrams ටික අඳින්න. Then after you are given with these calculations, right? So you have to practice these calculations starting by next week. Then after මගේ මේ පිළිවෙලට නෙවෙයි තියෙන්නේ. Then after you will be finding the very same questions. ඒකේ පළවෙනි questions ටික අදාළ නැහැ. Like from starting from question number 8 to downwards, right? You have to work with the IP addresses. Can ඔයගොල්ලෝ calculation එක කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඇඳපු diagram එකේ devices වලට දැන් IP addresses දෙන්න ඕනේ. That is how the real network is laid. network එකේ plan එක ඇඳෙන්නේ එහෙමයි. network එක කොහොමද plan වෙන්නේ කියලා අඳිනවා. IP addresses ටික mark වෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? So to do that we have to do the calculation part first. Right? So by next week I'm going to wind up the theory part. That means we are done with the lesson without the calculation. So we are going to start the calculations too. Right? ඒක නිසා මේක complete කරගන්න මේ 10 වෙනි 11 වෙනි question එක. Right? And prepare for next week. Right? So if you are done with this, you can leave. Jinani duwa පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න මීටින් එකේ අනික් කට්ටිය යනකම් දුව එක චුට්ටක් කතා කරන්න ඕනේ මොකද ඉස්සරහට කරගන්න තියෙන plan එක කියන එක. So others can leave if you are done with the diagram. Right? So have a very good night. We are going to meet on the same time by next week as well. Right? So good night everyone. If you're done with the diagram, you can leave. Right. Good night, Nirvana. Okay. Good night, Dua. Lalindi. Good night. දීලක මමත් තාම මේක පොඩ්ඩක් කියවුවේ නෑ දීලක මොකක් හරි privacy policy සිද්ධියක් නේද තිබුණේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මට තේරිච්ච විදියට ඕක අනිත් apps වලින් අපෙන් Nokia අරගත්ත ඒ details ටික මේ දැන් WhatsApp එකෙන් කියලා අරගන්න ගිහිල්ලා පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩේ චොර කරගත්ත සිද්ධියක් තියෙන්නේ. කියන්නේ දැන් Google එකෙන් එහෙම track කරන ඔය දේවල් ටික කොහොමද අපි මොකද කරන්නේ කොහෙද යන්නේ it is being tracked from many different apps. But WhatsApp එකෙන් මොකද WhatsApp Facebook වලින් purchase කරලානේ තියෙන්නේ. So Facebook එකට ප්‍රශ්න ආපු නිසා Facebook එක වැඩි හොඳට මං හිතන්නේ ඕක ඔය disclaimer එක එවලා තියෙන්නේ. But ඒකෙන් ඒගොල්ලොම බැනුම් අහන තත්ත්වයක් තියෙන මට තමයි අතරම go through ගන්න බැරුණා මොකක්ද කියලා තියෙන්නේ කියන එක ගැන. I'll go through it and say, right?
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Right, okay. Okay, Dilaka. Right. Mihin, වැඩේ ඉවරද? Right. Jinani දුව මොකක්ද තත්ත්වේ?
අද අර මුලින්ම කරපු අර TCP IP එක නම් ටිකක් තේරුන්නේ අර terms එහෙම.
ඔව්. ඒක දුව කලින් කරලම නෑනේ.
ඔව් ඊට පස්සේ ටික නම් තේරුණා.
Right, okay.
මේ 11 වෙනි එකයි 9යි නම්
අවුලක් නෑ. හරි.
අර
10 වෙනි එක පොඩ්ඩක් 10 වෙනි එක කොහොමද පොඩ්ඩක් challenging. ඔව් පුතේ.
කොහොමද කලින් වීඩියෝස් ටික බලන්නේ?
දුව ඔව් මම ඔයාලට මේ මැසේජ් එක එවුවේ නෑනේ මම පාන්තියේ පටන් අරගෙන වගේම ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහුවෙන් පස්සේ මතක් වුණේ ඒකට මම පුත් එහෙම ඩීටේල්ස් ඒවල නෑ නේද කියලා. ඔයා දුව starlabs.lk මම මෙතනින් පෙන්නන්නම් දුවට මේ starlabs.lk කියන වෙබ්සයිට් එකට යන්න. මම ඕක ගැන කලින් කිව්වද කියලා මට මතක නෑ දුවත් එක්ක. මේ starlabs.lk කියන සයිට් එකට ගියාම ඒක මගේ සයිට් එකක්. So මේ not secure කියලා වැටුනොත් ඒක එච්චර worry වෙන්න එපා. I guaranteed it is secure. ඒකේ දුව මේ lessons recording කියන එකේ starlabs recording කියලා තියෙනවා. ඕක ඇතුලේ මම ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහි online කරපු හැම session එකක්ම වගේ දාලා තියෙනවා. දුව බලන්න ඕනේ. මෙන්න මේ A level 2022 English medium කියන session එක. එතන දුව මේ දකුණු පැත්තේ කෙළවරේ playlist එක තියෙනවා. ඒක පහලට අපි කතා කරපු පාඩම් ටික තියෙනවා දිගටම. right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඔය online අපි කරපු පාඩම් ටික තියෙනවා. network වල නම් මට මතක විදිහට මෙන්න මේ පාඩම කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ 7 කියලා වැටලා තියෙන්නේ 7 හෝ 6 ඔන්න ඔතන ඉඳලා උඩහට තමයි දුවට බලන්න තියෙන්නේ කියන්නේ අලුත්ම පාඩම එන්නේ උඩට ප්ලේලිස්ට් එකේ දැන් අද රෙකෝඩින් එක මේකේ උඩට වැටෙන්නේ හෙට උදේ වෙනකොට මේ අද රෙකෝඩින් එකත් වැටලා තියෙයි ඕක පොඩ්ඩක් දුව රිෆර් කරගෙන යන්න එතකොට වැඩි ගොඩ දාගන්න ලේසි වෙයි. ඔයාලට කරගන්න පුළුවන්. I know about you නේ. ඔයාලට ගොඩ දාගන්න පුළුවන්. දුවට ටියුට් මම network ටියුට් එක දුවට දුන්නේ නැහැ නේද?
සර් එව් එකද
නෑ මට අම්මා ඇවිල්ලා අරගෙන ගියාද පුතේ network එකක් මට මතක නෑ.
නෑ සර්.
නෑ අය මේවා කරලා නැතුව ඇති. හරි. පුළුවන් නම් පුතේ ටියුට් එක චුට්ටක් කලෙක්ට් කරගන්න බලන්න ටියුට් එක ගෙදර තියෙනවා ලෑස්ති කරලා print වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම වුණොත් පොඩ්ඩක් ගෙදරට ඇවිල්ලා මොකද මන්නුගේ කොට පැත්තට එන එක ෂුවර් නෑ දුව. ආවොත් මට පොඩ්ඩක් අම්මා කිව්වා දැන් විජේරාමේ ඉන්නේ කියලා එහෙම වුණොත් ඔව් එහෙම හරි දීගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්තම් පොඩ්ඩක් කොට්ටාව පැත්තට පොඩ්ඩක් එන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඇවිල්ලා දුව කලෙක්ට් කරගෙන යන්න ටියුට් එක. දුවට මං කලින් ටියුට්ස් කීයක් දීලා තිබුණාද? අපි ක්ලාස් ටික ප්‍රීවියස්ලි කරනකොට ෆස්ට් ඇන්ඩ් තර්ඩ් යුනිට් විතර දීලා තිබුණේ.
මට මතක නම් සර්
3ක් දුන්නද?
1 2 3
1 2 3 කියන තුනනේ. හරි. දැන් පුතේ අතරමැද්ද දේවල් ටික මොකද උනේ? ගේට්ස් පාඩම කවර් කරගත්තද? තව කොහෙන් හරි කොහොමද උනේ?
තව ක්ලාස් එකකට යනවා මම.
right good. එතකොට එතනිනුත් දේවල් ටික කවර් වෙනවනේ.
ඕ ඒකේ තව ඉස්කෝලෙත් ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් කරනවා. ඒකේ නම් තාම කරන්නේ සිම්ප්ලිකේෂන්
ගේට්ස් වල සිම්ප්ලිෆිකේෂන් ටිකනේ. හරි. එහෙමනම් ක්ලියර් කරගන්න දුව ඔයාට මගෙන් මොනා හරි උමනා නම් පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න. එතකොට අපි මොනවාද ක්ලියර් නැත්තේ කියන එක පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරමු. දැන් මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ ඒ කියන්නේ 6th වෙනකන් අපි complete lesson ටික. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් 6 වෙනි පාඩම ලබන සතියෙන් ඉවර වෙනවා. එතකොට ඊළඟට කමෙන්ට්ස් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ 7th lesson එක. ඒ දුව පොඩ්ඩක් අර කියන්නේ මේ network එකේ දැන් හොඳම හරිය තමයි දුව ආවේක හොඳයි දුවට. ඒතර මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් වෙනවා අපි ආයෙසරයක් මේ අනිත් ටික කරනකොට. දුව මේකේ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් ටිකක් බලන්න. බලලා මට කියන්නකො මොනවා හරි ගැටලුවක් තිබ්බොත් ඒක අපි ක්ලියර් කරගමු.
හරි සර්.
හරි. කරගෙන යන්නකො පුතේ. මට කතා කරන්න ඕන නම්. right?
Thank you.
හරි දුව. හරි. right okay. හරි දුව good night.